Just like Tupac said, I'm not mad at you because what, Phil? Were you not expecting that?
I was not expecting that, but I'm here for it, bro.
Because the reason I'm not mad at you is I thought you were going to pull out some Crocs or something. Like, I didn't know.
Or some Hey Dudes or something like that.
85 Archived. We got another guest. People are interested in talking to us about sneakers, about stuff that old dudes talk about when they get together virtually. Everybody wanted to welcome you to episode 6. As always, Andy Marks, co-host here, and our guest, Keelan Bonner, coming to us from the Chicago area. Keelan, want to hear a little bit about your origin story. Tell us the viewers, us a little bit about how you came into loving sneakers and what made you want to hang out with us at 9 p.m. on a Sunday night talking about footwear.
All right, man. But first off, thanks for having me, y'all. Again, like Phil said, my name's Keelan Bonner. The first pair of shoes that I fell in love with were the military blue Ford Jordans. Like, I was in 4th grade. I remember like seeing them like in the store, like when like they first like dropped, and then just like eyeballs popping out my head, mouth on the floor, you know what I'm saying? Just like, man, I got to have these, see? And so that's the first thing I did was like I picked up the phone, called my dad, because my dad lived in Chicago at the time or whatever, right? I was in Springfield. My dad came down for like a weekend or whatever because I was hooping and all that, and then he bought them for me here. I got like these the babies right here, these the ones right here. See, not the same ones, you know what I'm saying? But even the re-release, just how I even found these is a story in of itself. But anyway, Pops came down to Springfield or whatever, right? Caught me a pair, and then told me he was like, now that I spent $100 and whatever dollars on these shoes, he was like, your ass better drop at least 20 at this next game that you got. So, see. And I hit 23, like no BS, 23 in the game. I ain't never scored 23 points in another basketball game in my life. Like that was like my 4th grade, like, you know what I'm saying? Like I was in the Jordans, like stunting, doing everything, hitting everything. So, but those are my first love. Now, how I got this pair right here, I tried to hit every drop, G. Every drop, I was denied. You know how they do the little pre-drop or whatever, the shock drop or whatever, right?
Yep.
I saw that. I was teaching, and I stopped my class and went to my phone, went to my computer, tried to get all that stuff.
That's it. You got the bug. All right.
Couldn't get them, right? Then when they dropped, I was like, you know what? Because it was like close to my birthday, all that stuff. I was like, you know what? This is going to be a gift to myself or whatever, right? Did that same thing. Couldn't get them, right? And you know, they don't ever have shoes at the mall no more or whatever, right? So I'm literally just walking in my mall, you know what I'm saying, Hawthorne Mall, and it's a Champs in the mall or whatever, right? And I look and I was like, ain't no way. I was like, I just saw them like in the store. I was like, they don't have J's in the store no more. I was like, hold up. And I walked in there, and the guy working there like knew what I came in there for, right? And he was heated because he was getting ready to get him himself or whatever, right? And I was like, dude, tell me that's an 11 up on the shelf right there. He's like, it's 11 and a half. I was like, don't care. Get the other one. Give them to me right now. I was like, go in the back. Get the other one. I need them right now. And he was soft, but he did it though. So I got my booze back. I got my babies back. So I got them right here. Right.
That's fantastic, man.
Yeah. So the second pair I got are the Huarache from like back in the day. Now, the first time I had a pair of Huaraches, I was in junior high, and I remember mom like tricked the whole like income tax check like on like me and my brothers and all that stuff, right? She was like, y'all can go to the mall, get whatever y'all want or whatever, right? And I copped a pair of these boys like then, right? Went to school
Fab
stunting.
Five.
Dude, went to school stunting. I mean, I was clean from like merry-go-round, and these boys, you know what I'm saying, had my little like U-Man like shirt on, you know what I mean? My little Z Cavaricis, could nobody tell me nothing, Joe. So, so the Hirachis gonna always have a special place in my heart too.
We talked a little bit about some forgotten brands last week, and anybody remember BK Knights?
Of course,
Oh,
I remember
yeah.
British Knights. Come
Okay,
on now,
Yeah.
okay, okay. All right,
British
British
Knights
Knights.
with the diamond on
Yes,
the side.
that's
Yeah,
it. I
yeah,
don't think we touched that one.
Are you
But
yeah.
about ready to pull out a pair of British Knights in
no,
size
I'm not.
17?
No,
Oh,
no,
I
I'm
was getting ready to
not.
say, do you? That's just what I was getting ready to say. I was like, let me see him. I know if anybody got him, you do.
No, it was just something that popped in my mind the other day, and I was like, man, I haven't seen a pair of those in forever. So
that's a nice hoodie you got there too, Phil.
I just want to say shout out to 85 Archived. I got some swag, my first piece of swag. So thank you,
We're
us.
we're
Yes,
shouting
sir.
ourselves out. New topic. Have you guys? Did you guys watch the Grammys tonight? It aired tonight.
Yes, yes, and I know where you're going too. You
Okay,
talking
I'm
about
going there.
That new Air Jordan commercial.
Yes.
It
So
was like, no, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead, go
no,
ahead.
I
I'm gonna
was
let you
just
have
gonna
your
say
moment.
like I remember that era in the 80s and 90s, and that's when I got hooked on shoes because with the Mars Blackman ad campaigns, that was just monumental in terms of the impact it had on what shoes I like. This new ad that ran tonight kind of reminded me of that era. It's and it all revolves around the Air Jordan 1 band colorway.
I say, dude, it was like everybody, and I just like how they was like, now what if Nike didn't pay that fine, and then like they went and talked about everything that like you wouldn't have had, and they had like the little like black bar over it too. They was like you wouldn't have, you know what I'm saying? They was starting with like the most recent stuff, and then they went like back. They was like you wouldn't have Travis Scott, you wouldn't have this, you wouldn't have this, blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? And it was just
It's true.
like you saw how influential like the Jordan brand like really was, and just like how it just like permeated like every aspect of pop culture, all that stuff, right? Because it's just it was just certain things like I didn't even like even think about or like realize.
I'm sitting on my couch watching TV and I see an Air Jordan commercial. It's been a year since I've seen that.
In a minute, yeah.
Yeah. So Phil, you got to check that out.
I will, absolutely. I saw that it kind of came from like real life too, right? They put the block over the
Yeah.
website so you couldn't see the
Right, right,
Jordans,
right,
the actual statue itself. So,
right.
I think a couple episodes ago you talked about how just that marketing and that push to make things really, really exciting. You're right, like to bring it from the real world into TV, and now you're anticipating a release. That's impressive.
Yeah. I think they hit a home run with that marketing campaign. It's
Well, you
pretty
said you're going to pull
genius.
something out that was similar or inspired you. What do you got? What do you got to show us this week?
Okay. So the whole idea and premise around the Air Jordan 1 band was that the colorway it didn't have enough white in it, right? But the shoe that was actually banned wasn't the Air Jordan 1 band that everyone knows today. It was what was called the Nike Airship. I have this colorway, but this came out just this last year. So it's got like Nike Air on the back, but you can kind of see the Air Jordan 1 in this shoe. Same kind of Nike Air on the tongue. And then it came with a box with like this pamphlet that talks about
Yeah.
like the technology, which every shoe used to come with this kind of stuff. But this was the shoe that Nike did up with red and black to get Jordan. And this is what he was actually wearing when the NBA famously sent him the letter that says, we're going to fine you anytime you wear them. So it was the Nike Air ship that actually kind of caused all the drama. A lot of people don't know that. It's kind of well documented. If you're a true Jordan fan and Jordan 1 fan, you probably know
The airship.
the Air ship. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
this shoe, it's not highly sought after. And if you've watched previous episodes, you kind of realize that I kind of key in on those models that were like slept on, but still have kind of a deep meaning to me. But like this shoe was widely available. It dropped the same time as the Air Jordan 4 military blue. So like when I'm on my phone and scrolling, I saw like they had the Air Jordan 4 coming out on the sneakers app, military blue, and then they had this like the following day. So what a great time to be a sneakerhead when you can like grab two historic pieces and build up your collection. So
Man, that's impressive. They got all your money that week.
they did. And
Right,
what
right, right.
and I'm so like I want to remember these points in time. So I'll do a screenshot of the Nike app knowing that these two shoes that I liked were available at the same time. That's a little too much detail that you probably want to know, but that's
It's
what's in my
okay.
photo library.
You got a hobby, bro. You got a hobby. It's fine.
We're in the circle of trust, right?
That's
Oh,
exactly
all
right.
day,
Us and
all
our
day.
40
That's
viewers.
right. That's
Absolutely.
right. We
That's
Switzerland,
right.
baby. You all good.
Goodness. Well, before we get into an interesting topic, it's one we haven't broached before, and definitely want to get your input on it, Keelan. I do want to show you something that I think might be banned on this show. So we've talked about Jordans. We've talked about a few other things. I'm gonna have to bring this out, man. I am a fan of LeBrons. Okay, I see the head shake. I understand why, but the simple fact of the matter is, as a big dude, you play in the post, you got to have some comfort. So I brought out the LeBron 17s. All right.
Wait a second. Is that like a moving box?
I was
Oh,
like, that's
this
right.
is
I was like, just a side.
this is
Yeah,
the
yeah.
big
Put the
boy.
box back up.
Hey.
You look like radio. Hold on. Speaking
This
of like
one is a boombox. Yeah.
the Mars Blackman, right? I was like, you like Radio Raheem right now.
This box is bigger than your average one. But definitely got to show just the simple fact that you can get some Monstars. So this is Space Jam 2.
Wow.
Monstar 17s. They're wild. They're crazy. You know me. I love a shoe that's a little bit funky, but definitely had to show that there is some love here for some LeBrons. They haven't been worn yet, but I do need to put them back out on the court. So, a couple pairs of these, but have not worn these quite yet.
Just like Tupac said, I'm not mad at you because I what, Phil? Were you not expecting that?
I was not expecting that, but I'm here for it.
Because the reason I'm not mad at you is I thought you were going to pull out some Crocs or something. Like I didn't know.
Or some Hey Dudes or something like that.
Hey, dudes.
You might catch me in some Crocs. I will not front on that brand.
The only reason I said that is because you mentioned Croc boots last week in the snow.
That's true.
And
That's
I thought if he pulls out some Crocs, he is banned from this show.
No, I just, you mentioned his name and some people just arc up. I was not comparing anyone. I just wanted to show that we do recognize that big men have needs too.
That's right. I like it.
Man, so to go from being in the post to being fly on the track, Keelan, my understanding and our understanding is that you have aficionado for track, right? Like, take us a little bit about your history in track, but then also, what about track shoes over time? What comes to mind is Michael Johnson's gold shoes in the Olympics. I forget the year, but that was
Oh,
a
that
huge
was
thing.
96. That was 96.
96?
That was Atlanta
All
in
right.
96.
Atlanta.
Yeah.
But what have you seen over time in track, and now that you're coaching, what are kids wearing on the track these days?
Oh man, well, back in the day, the ones that I loved the most were the Zoom Superflies. That was the first iteration of them. They were the neon green shoes, and that was the same ones that Michael Johnson had, but he had them in the gold color. Right, so he had those in '96 in Atlanta, and then in 2000 he had a updated version of the Zoom Superfly Zen though. But I haven't really seen any or had any that can really compare just to the impact that those shoes had. I just remember those dropping for track folks, those Zoom Superflies, they was J's on the track, for real. Man, I stepped on the track with them and they was like, damn, Key, no you didn't, bro. Because I told you my dad kept me fresh, right? Anytime my dad saw me, that's what he did. My dad he would always bless me with with fly kicks. And so I got those. I was at a track meet up here at Proviso East High School, if I'm not mistaken. And there was this company, shout out to Dick Pine, they had a truck that they would sell track shoes out the truck. But I'm telling you though, nothing could compare for me, you know what I'm saying, to those Zoom Superflies back in the day. It had such a impact on me. My first email address was zoomsuperfly@hotmail.com. That was my first email address, and then everybody thought I was trying to be a pimp or something like that, right? I was just it ain't like that. It's just cause.
Not
but,
that Superfly.
You know what I'm saying? Right. I'm Superfly on the track though. I remember, like I said, that's why I told you when them Zoom Superflies dropped, G, it was it put the track sprint scene on its head, G. They was like, what? They got heat for spikes? What you talk? What?
Yeah. Went down memory lane once again, Phil.
I love it. That's what we do.
Yeah.
This is what it's about. It's about looking towards the future, which we'll talk about now, as well as respecting the past, right? So, what's Keelan? What's a shoe right now? If we could gift you a shoe, right? Past, present, future, whatever it might be, that you have been either looking for or it's just way too much. Like, what is a dream shoe for you? Uh,
It's two pair. It's two pair. The original OG like pennies, you know what I'm saying? That like black and white and blue colorway when he played for the Magic, like that first pair. Because I'm talking about, because even that ad campaign, you like talk about ad campaigns where like Chris Rock was Lil Penny, you know what I'm saying? and
Absolutely,
and that,
absolutely.
and then I tried and missed for the Turf Dion's. See, you know which ones I'm talking about? The black and red. They got the like Nike like strap that go across.
That's right. Little like wave on the strap. Yeah.
Is it not the ones with the waves? I'm talking about
Oh
the
no, no.
first ones. I'm talking about the first ones that had like the like thick like strap, and they were red and black. I don't know the actual like name of them.
I love it because we get so much variety, right? Like I don't think anyone's mentioned that quite yet, but
Yeah.
and the pennies that campaign, I still got the poster from Little Penny and Big Penny, I guess. But yeah, that's crazy. And this has been wonderful. I think we can probably close this one out with the simple fact that we've got Dion's, we got track shoes, we got Superfly, not the Superfly movie, but the Zoom Superflies, and then we got a chance to see the military blue reincarnated, and that smile right there, Keelan, is what it's all about, man. Chasing dreams, chasing shoes. Appreciate you spending time with us, and we look forward to having you on again in the future.
All right, cool. Thanks for having me again, y'all. This was so much fun, man.